Lynching testimony today from a top U.S. diplomat in the impeachment inquiry.
This as the president faces criticism for referring to the probe as a lynching. CBS 2's Valerie Castro in studio now with more. Valerie?
Christina Maurice, the White House was on the defensive today, fighting against the impeachment inquiry testimony given behind closed doors and explaining the president's controversial tweet.
This is my most disturbing day in Congress so far. Very troubling.
The most damning testimony yet in the impeachment inquiry against President Trump happened behind closed doors from top U.S. diplomat to Ukraine, former Ambassador Bill Taylor. The president is accused of withholding U.S. aid to Ukraine in exchange for an investigation into Hunter Biden, presidential candidate Joe Biden's son, and his position with the Ukrainian company Burisma. Taylor testified, "It was becoming clear to me that the meeting President Zelensky wanted with President Trump was conditioned on the investigations of Burisma." In a text message to colleagues released by House investigators earlier in the probe, he wrote, "I think it's crazy to withhold security assistance for help with a political campaign." The White House press secretary issued this statement saying there was no quid pro quo. Today was just more triple hearsay and selective leaks from the Democrats' politically motivated, closed-door, secretive hearings. The White House was also on the defensive following this tweet from President Trump, comparing the impeachment inquiry against him to a lynching.
The president's not comparing what happened to him with one of our darkest moments in American history. He's just not. What he's explaining clearly is the way he's been treated by the media since he announced for president.
But lawmakers on both sides of the aisle condemn the comments.
Given the history in our country, I would not compare this to a lynching.
I get his absolute rejection of the process. I wouldn't use the word lynching.
He's someone who doesn't understand what happened.
What happened is thousands of black Americans died as a result of the racially motivated murders from the late 19th century and as recently as the 1960s. They were brutal, violent, and many times went unpunished, the most common method by hanging.
It's an indefensible and it's a disgusting message coming from the President of the United States, who clearly either does not understand the very painful history of African Americans in this country or doesn't really care. I mean, come on, I grew up in Texas, Jim Crow Texas, and there were many, many lynchings in Texas, and there's still family members who are living who had family members who were lynched.
Despite the outrage, Senator Lindsey Graham says it was accurate, considering what he says is the mob that has gone after the president.
Yeah, this is a lynching in every sense. This is un-American.
The president's tweet has not been deleted, nor has he issued any others in reference to it. Christine? Okay.